I think the Yankees genuinely might have the best rotation in all of baseball, and Garrett Cole isn't even back yet. Hello and welcome to another Vinny Talks Yanks. I'm your host Vincent LaRose, and today the New York Yankees have finished their West Coast trip against the Seattle Mariners to start the season 5-1 after sweeping the Giants, and then, of course, as I just said, taking 2 out of 3 games in Seattle to end the West Coast trip to start the year right before going back home for home opening day, of course. And let's just get right into the recap. So game 1, Ryan Weathers would get his first start to make his Yankee debut, and he would take them out in game 1 against the Mariners to start his 2026 season. He would go 4 1/3, giving up 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and striking out 7. Weathers struggled to start, seeming to have a little bit of a control issue. He was having a hard time finding his command, but he settles in and, he gets the job done, at least for a little bit. In a regular start, you probably see him finish the 5th there, but with it being so early in the year, the Yankees still have most of these guys, pretty much all of these guys, other than Fried, on a pitch count. So he would leave with only getting 1 out in the 4th and, get the early hook, of course. But the offense for the Yankees this game, they were pretty dormant. The Yankees were getting their only run in the 7th on an Ahmed Rosario sac fly. You obviously want to see more from the Yankees offense. It struggled quite a bit this game, but Seattle has like a top 3 pitching staff in all of baseball, and the Yankees had to go against Luis Castillo in this game, and it kind of went exactly how you would expect it to go against a guy like Luis Castillo, who is constantly in talks for a possible Cy Young, and just has an elite fastball. I mean, it's Luis Castillo. He's one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, and he did exactly what you would expect him to do against the Yankees. Of course, the Yankees are one of the better offenses in baseball, so you still expect them to do a little more than what they did. Castillo was able to go pretty deep into this game, so that didn't help the Yankees either. So it was a tough offensive game all around, but the bullpen would come in and have some work to do with the wires. Wow, with Weathers only going 4 1/3. Starting with Cruz, he finished the 5th, getting 2 huge strikeouts to get out of a jam, and obviously, of course, escaping that jam, saving Weathers' ERA, not allowing any more runs to score. Then Bird would follow him, throwing an inning. Then Hedrick and Duvall would pitch the 7th, would combine to pitch the 7th, with Hedrick striking out 2 and Duvall finishing the inning. Then Blackburn would pitch the 8th and come back out for the 9th, and ultimately give up the walk-off single to Cal Raleigh to hand the Yankees their first loss of the season and a 2-1 loss. So here are pretty much the takeaways from game 1. To start, the offense was bad. This game was just bad. I know they had to face an elite pitcher, like I just said, in Luis Castillo, but they looked completely lost at the plate. Of course, as we know, Judge has been awful to start the season, but one of the bright spots of the offense this game was Stanton. He was able to stay hot starting the season, hitting 500. At the time there, that was his 4th straight game with a 2-hit game. 4th straight game with 2 hits. But the one thing that really bothers me is Jazz. And I'm going to talk about Jazz real quick right now. I know at the end of spring training we got his little quote saying, I'm going 50-50, 50 home runs, 50 stolen bags this year. He's looking for a huge contract going into next year, if baseball's even played next year. And he looks really bad right now. It just looks like every single at bat, he's just swinging for the fences, swinging as hard as he can, completely swinging out of his shoes. And he just looks bad. He looks rough. He does not look good at the plate at all. Like I said, he looks like he's just trying to hit a home run. It looks like the only thing he cares about is hitting a home run. And then if he gets on base, he just tries to steal second. He got picked off today too, and he's just been kind of annoying to watch. I love Jazz's energy. Do not get me wrong. I absolutely love it. But sometimes the ego's got to come down a little bit when the play isn't up there. When the play is down here, the ego has to come down. There has to be a realization of, let me chill out, let me keep my words to myself, let me figure out my game, and then once I get back up to there, because we absolutely know that Jazz can be that player, then you can act a little bit cocky. But as of now, he really needs to, cool it down a little bit, and just, stick to the game of baseball at this point. He's got to work, because 6 games of a season may seem so small, but for a guy going into his, free agency, that 6 games can make all the difference in a contract. It really can. You may not think it could, but it absolutely can. So he really needs to figure it out. But let's move on from that. Then my second takeaway from this game is the bullpen. They don't necessarily pitch bad this game, but I do think if you're facing an offense that hasn't been struggling all season like the Mariners have, the bullpen would have gotten torched this game. Look, there was way too many mistake pitches and constantly putting themselves in bad spots. I know Weathers was really the start of it in that 5th inning. And Fernando Cruz was really able to come in and get 2 huge strikeouts on a couple nasty splitters. But the bullpen just constantly kept putting themselves in a bad spot. Blackburn put himself in the bad spot, which ended up leading to the game-winning hit. And, Duvall and Hedrick, they got through the 7th, of course. It all just didn't look great. And that was the worry I had with the bullpen coming into this season. It just doesn't, it's good, but it's not great. And the Yankees need a great bullpen to win a World Series. They really need it. So I'm worried about the bullpen, to be completely honest, especially after today's game. But I'll talk about that when I get to there. But we'll move on to game 2 here. So Max Fried, our GOAT Max Fried, would get to start in game 2 against the Mariners and absolutely dominate. He goes 7 innings, giving up 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and striking out 6. Max, in his 2 starts this year, hasn't given up a run, and I don't see him slowing down anytime soon. He has been absolutely dominating. He looked absolutely great. Every single pitch for Max Fried is working right now. Every last one, the cutter, the sinker, the curve, the slot, just everything is working for Fried, and this could be the year he gets that Cy Young. I mean, look, it's 2 starts in. Of course, we know he started off great last year too. Had that 7-start struggle in the middle of the season, but this year just feels different with Max Fried. I really think he's going to take that next step. I mean, he's already an elite pitcher, but he's going to be even better. You guys will see. Watch. But for the offensive side, it was much better than game 1. Starting with a Ben Rice RBI double in the first after an Bellinger single, not RBI single, Bellinger single. Then Giancarlo Stanton will drive in Rice right after that with an RBI single to give the Yankees the 2-0 lead. Then in the 6th, Trent Grisham would score on a throwing error by Cal Raleigh trying to throw out Bellinger, trying to steal second base. Then Stanton would follow that with another RBI, this one being a double though, making it 4-0, and to finish out the scoring in the 6th, Jazz Chisholm Jr. would end the game and the Yankees scoring with an RBI single. And moving on to the bullpen wouldn't have to do much in game 2. Of course, after Max Fried's elite start, Hedrick would come in first, throwing a scoreless 8th while striking out 1, and then Tim Hill would close out the game, throwing a scoreless 9th to give the Yankees a 5-0 victory. Yet another shutout victory to end this season for the Yankees, which is a really, really good sign. To start, we're going to talk about Big G. I'm going to give Giancarlo Stanton some love. He starts this season with 5 consecutive 2-hit games. Giancarlo Stanton is red hot and has mostly done it with singles and doubles. He's hit I think he's at 10 hits now, maybe 11 hits now, something like that. Half of them have been singles. He's mixed 2 doubles in there, and he's got a homer in there. So Stanton has not necessarily his game. He's usually home run or strikeout kind of guy. He makes in a couple singles here and there because he hits the ball so hard, but it's been mostly singles. It's been mostly, not even really just putting the bat on the ball. It's because he just hits the ball so hard. It's just finding holes right now. Everything's just working for Stanton right now. But he's been really, really good this year to start this season. And I am praying the Yankees can manage to keep him healthy the whole year. I know they released today, actually, this entire plan on when to give Stanton off days to make sure he stays as healthy as possible. They're projecting Stanton to get around 130 to 138 games with this plan. Basically means like he's never going to play more than 3 days in a row. If he plays 3 days in a row, it's going to follow an off day. They're going to, when the Yankees have Mondays off, it's Sunday, either a Sunday game or Tuesday game, he's going to get days off after off days. Oh my god. After the Yankees, any Yankees off day, he's probably going to get off a day before or a day after. That's exactly why he got off today, to give him that 2 days worth of rest, to make sure his elbow stays as healthy as long as possible, to really go all in this year, because we all know this is likely the last full season we're ever going to see Giancarlo Stanton play. So it would be very, very nice to make sure he's healthy for the majority of it. But then, of course, we cannot go on without mentioning Max Fried and how good he was this game. Coming off a crazy good opening day start on a pitch count, I didn't see him being able to top it, but he somehow, I think he matched it. I don't want to say topped it, because it's pretty much the same thing, 7 1/3 and then 7 innings. But at the end of the day, it was an elite start. Max is a legit ace, and I'm so happy the Yankees picked him up. It was such a good signing last year, especially after losing Soto, after all of our hopes and dreams pretty much vanished in the first 3 days after that Soto contract. Then the Yankees come out and go, no, well, we're going to put work in, and they signed the right guy, signing Max Fried to his massive deal. But every time he goes on the mound, he carries the Yankees to a W. Like I said, I know he had his struggles last year in the middle of the season with that about 6 game stretch where he just struggled, but he just looks so good right now. He looks on, and I'm really excited to watch him pitch for the rest of the year. I think this could be the year Max Fried gets a Cy Young. Of course, yes, it's only 2 games in, but hey, Garrett Crochet got torched already, so we might be in for Max Fried. But of course, it's way too early to actually tell. You never know. But I really liked Max Fried's chances. I think he looked really good this game, and I fully believe it's going to absolutely carry on to his next start and many starts after that. But we will move on to the final game of this series, Game 3, and right after an elite Max Fried start, we get an elite Cam Schlittler start. Cam Schlittler would get the start today and figure out how to top his first start of the season, going 6.1 innings, giving up only 2 hits, no runs, and not walking a single batter, all while striking out 7. The not walking a batter is the best part to me. The fact that Cam can be so dominant, throw so hard, but manage to stay in complete control of his command and not walk a single batter, all while throwing 80 pitches, is enough to tell me this guy is going to be insanely good this year. He went 6.1 innings. He was only at 78 pitches. He could have kept going. Of course, we are on a pitch count. I know Cam Schlittler got a little bit of a slow start this season with the sore lat to start spring training. So yes, he is technically on a little bit more of a pitch watch than maybe some other guys. Also, they talked about it today, Cam last year threw more innings than he ever had. You want to make sure he's staying healthy. Of course, he doesn't have an extensive injury history, but when you get a guy going from 90 and manage to get him hitting 101, there's possibilities for injury there. They want to keep him as healthy as possible, so I have no issues here. At the time when the move was made, it was also 4-0, and I think the Yankees were a little bit more confident in that time. The game came a little bit closer than I think we would like, but we'll get that to the second. But we'll move on to the offense. So Ben Rice once again would stay hot, hit an RBI double in the first to open the scoring for the game. Then we'd have to wait all the way into the 6th to see another run scored in the entirety of the game, because Cam Schlittler shut the Mariners down, didn't let them score. But we got to see a Paul Goldschmidt, his first home run off a right-handed pitcher since last June. But he hits a 3-run bomb to left field to give the Yankees the 4-0 lead. Then Rice would strike again in the 8th with a solo shot, his first of the year. That was to right center field to give the Yankees, at the time, it was a 5-2 to lead and end the scoring for the day for the Yankees. The offense looked much better these last 2 games than they did the first. Of course, they scored 7 runs to start the season in the first game, back-to-back 3-run scoring, then only a 1. So for about a 3-game stretch, we were talking about, we ran it back because this offense is amazing, and then we have 3 games where, every game was close because the offense really couldn't score. But the bullpen would come in after Schlittler and give us our first real kind of heart attack moment, a panic moment of the season. Cruz would be the first one out of the bullpen, getting 2 outs in the 7th, striking out 1. Duvall would be the follow and really struggle, going 2/3 of an inning, giving up 2 hits, 2 runs, walking a batter, and just Duvall's command was completely off. You could just see it. He was off tonight, and it sucks because he's really supposed to be our 8th inning guy, one of our super high leverage guys, and to see him struggle this early after being so good in San Francisco it was a little hard to watch. But Bednar would come out and he somewhat controlled the damage. Of course, he gets up a hit that gives a Duvall another earned run, but he would get out the 8th, only giving up another run, and then in the 9th, the Yankees, when Bednar would go back out, he managed to get the save after giving up 3 hits and a run, but the Yankees still hold on and get a 5-3 W to win the series and to finish off with the win before going back home to open the season against Miami. So the bullpen really struggled for the first time, like majorly struggled for the first time this season. Of course, you lose 2-1. Game 1, but the bullpen only gives up 1 run, and they had to go 4 2/3. So you can't hate that, but giving up to 3 runs, making it scary, and there was an opportunity for the Mariners to tie the game multiple times this game. Again, I really do think if the Mariners were in a little bit better shape offensively, guys like Kyle Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez weren't struggling so bad to start the season, that I don't think the Yankees win this game either. I think they end up losing this game. So, of course, that's not the way it went. The bullpen does eventually get the job done, but I don't think they're going to be this lucky all season. So, here are my takeaways from Game 3. To start, I want to give Ben Rice some massive credit for his great start to the season. He's hitting .417 with a 1.289 OPS with a homer and 5 RBIs. Of course, this is only 17 at bats, but he's also walked a couple times too. He has started the season hot, just super, super hot, and even some of his outs are balls he's hitting hard, just like last year, just unlucky. But Ben Rice is the future Yankees first baseman, and this is the year everybody's going to see it. He's going to explode this year. Watch. You guys, just wait. You absolutely watch. And then, of course, just like Max Fried, Cam Schlittler, you cannot not talk about him. Cam Schlittler Cam Schlittler, he's doing it with such ease, and I think I saw the graphic in the 4th. It was in the 4th inning. They were talking about it, but he only had thrown 39 pitches, and he's going into the 4th inning, and 35 of them were fastballs. I may be off in the numbers. Maybe it was 38 pitches and 34 were fastballs, but majority fastballs. He has such a good mix of his four-seam, his sinker, and his cutter. As we all know, seeing from last year, his four-seam and his sinker are elite. They are really, really good. High velocity, high movement pitches. But he's really developed the cutter on top of that, just really combining everything together. He mixes in the curveball, and he does have the slider, of course, but his fastball is what makes him. And Cam Schlittler has been so good to start the season. Of course, just like Max Fried, hasn't given up a single run this year, helping the Yankees to have that 0.61 ERA to start the season. It's just, it is super, super, super fun to watch Cam on the mound. And like I said, it looks like he's doing it with such ease. I've never seen anything like it before. And there was some talks about how the Yankees last year offered Cam Schlittler amongst another 3 prospects for Paul Skeens, and right now, if the Pirates would have taken that deal, man, they'd be sitting golden, because they would have been, Spencer Jones Lombard Jr., Cam Schlittler, and I think they threw in Dominguez in there too for that trade offer. But I'm happy we didn't get rid of Cam. As much as I would love Skeens, and I think Skeens is a better option right now, Cam has been absolutely amazing. He's been tender. He's been better than Skeens this year. So, but of course, you never know. Now, before I end the show, I wanted to talk about my overall feel of this Yankees team so far to start the season. To start, I know it's only been 6 games, but I think the Yankees genuinely might have the best rotation in all of baseball, and Garrett Cole isn't even back yet. I mean, a 0.61 ERA to start the season is nuts. One of the best starts for Yankees rotation in their history, and these guys are still on a pitch count. They're still on a pitch. They're not even allowed to go deep into games yet. They're still on a pitch count. Fried and Schlitter would have gone even deeper and it would have brought that ERA even lower. It's been so good. I'm super excited to see what this rotation does for the rest of the season, because I think we're going to see one of the best rotations in baseball this year. I think the Yankees rotation is going to really make this team this year, and this is what will elevate us over everybody else to the elite starting pitching. It's been something that the Yankees have been missing for so long. We were, promised it last year. Of course, Garrett Cole goes out with the Tommy John, so that sucks, but this is a year we're going to really see it, and I'm super excited. Then to end the show, I want to talk about Judge. It's a rough topic right now, but as we know, Judge has gotten off to an absolutely terrible start, hitting under 200. And look, I know it's only been 6 games, but he struck out way more than normal. He struck out 14 times, I think. I think it's about 14, maybe it's 12. It might be 12. But he's never struck out this much in the first 6 games of the season in his entire career. So it's a little, it's a little worrisome. His swings have been completely awful. His timing is completely off, and he just looks off at the plate. He looks uncomfortable. He doesn't look confident, and it's honestly really hard to watch his at-bats right now. Even when he puts a bat on the ball and not striking out, he's just, it's just rolling over or hitting lazy pop-ups. Really, you haven't really seen, the 2 homers. Even the single he hit was off the end of the bat. The hardest hit ball of this season was off the pitcher's glove, and it ended up being, just a line out. But he's just looked lost, and I'm not sure if the choke under pressure comments are really starting to get to him. Of course, he was asked about that after the WBC, and he was just like, yeah, you're gonna get them. You kind of have to ignore him. I don't know, but the Yankees need him to start performing. Look, the Yankees went 5-1 during this rough phase, and this is a bad stretch from Aaron Judge, and I truly think it's pure luck the Yankees won 5 out of, these 5 games. I think middle season with these 2 teams, the Giants and Seattle, maybe a little more into the year, and the offense is a little more locked in, I would say, that the Yankees probably end up taking this road trip 3-3, 500, especially with how bad Judge has been. We really need Judge to step it up, because I don't see the Yankees going 5-1 again this season with Judge playing this bad. But that is where I'm going to end it today. So before I do my mini outro, remember, I have started a media company. Me and my best friend have started a media company. If you need any editing services, production services, you just need ideas, feel free to go to our website. It is going to be in the link in the description. Send us an email, whatever the scenario is. It's pretty reasonable. We're just getting started, but I've been doing this for over a year, and we have a couple channels on our team now with a decent following. So if you guys, anybody's interested, feel free to email me either at Vinny Talks Yanks, I'll answer there, or at RoseZuleta Media at gmail.com. Both of those emails will be in the description. And always, go look at our other creators. None of these guys are massive, but they're all, close friends, and we have all tried to commit to something that we'd enjoy in our lives. So feel free to visit those pages, and those all will be in the description as well. But as always, I hope everybody has a wonderful day. If you're on the YouTube side, I appreciate you watching. If you're on the podcast side, I appreciate you for listening. We continue to grow every day, and I appreciate every last one of you guys. It is really, really cool to see how much this channel has grown in just a little over a year. Obviously, not enough to be my job yet, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to make these probably for the rest of my life, because I have so much fun doing it. So again, I appreciate you all for watching. Like I said before, I hope everybody has a wonderful day, morning, night, whatever time of the day it is for you. And as always, go Yankees.